Hi, my name is Akankshya Upadhyay and I am your English instructor. In today's class, we will be looking at Unit 8, that is talking about past and narrating past events. So let's begin.
So while we talk about past, we need to use past tense. So let's look at a very brief description of past tense. नेपालीमा हामी यसलाई भूतकाल भन्छौँ. हामी भूतकाल भनेको पहिला घटेको घटनालाई कुरा गर्नको लागि हामीले भूतकाल युज गरेको जस्तै प्रयोग गरेको जस्तै narrating past events भनेकै भएको घटनाहरू पहिलाको घटनाहरूलाई भन्दाखेरि हामी के युज गर्छौँ भन्दा talking about past we use past tense. So let's take an example of work. Work ko past tense, simple past tense भनेको worked. It's worked. Continuous tense is working. So working can be either present continuous, which is working, and we need past continuous, which is was working. So this is a very simple description. Now let's look at the past participle form, which is had been working. The present participle could be has been working. So now we'll look at how we describe things and talk about past. So while talking about past, as I said earlier, we always use past tense. Use past tense. So there are many cases where we can use these. First of all, I would like to talk about when we are talking about an event that happened at a particular time in the past, we use simple past tense, which is this form. So simple past tense is used when we are talking about an event that happened at a particular time in the past. So we use simple past tense. For example, we arrived home before 7. Example, we arrived home before 7. So arrived is the past form, the simple past form of arrive. Arrive, it is the simple past of arrive. Another example, I worked hard throughout class 9. So this, we're taking you back to a particular time. It's class 9 मा हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ I worked very hard भनेको चाहिँ एउटा particular time मा we are at class 9. Class 9 मा हुनु भनेको अहिले म टिचर हो भने particular time मा I go back. Class 9 मा हुँदा चाहिँ मैले एकदमै मेहनत गरेको थिएँ भने that's the taking you back to a particular time in the past, and we use the simple past tense. Another example would be Akankshya often recorded classes during winter. So I'm taking you back to the time in the winter where Akankshya recorded classes. So I'm taking you back to a particular time, so we use simple past tense. Another example is most evenings we stayed at school and studied books. So म यसमा के भनिरहेको छु भने when I was in class 9, my school teacher always my school always kept us in the evening time to give us evening classes. हाम्रो evening classes हुन्थ्यो स्कुलमा हुँदा. त्यही भएर अहिले आएर at this point of time I am telling you that most evenings we stayed at school and studied books. So we stayed at school and studied books. I do not say most evenings we were staying at school and were studying books. I do not say that because that's a wrong form of grammar. I'm taking you back to a particular time when I was at school. So I use stayed and studied, which are the simple past tense. Simple past. Also, we can use the phrase used to with simple past tense. For example, we can use used to say something about a particular time in the past. For example, most evenings, let me take the same example. Most evenings we used to stay at school to study. Now, when I use used to, I do not use simple past tense, I use the normal verb. Because I have already taken something to the past, that's used. Most evenings, we used to stay at school to study. The wrong form could be, most evenings, we used to stay at school to study. So now, we'll look at the use of past participle form. So we use the past participle form while talking about something that happened in the past, that's before and after a given situation. So we use past participle while talking about something that happened in the past, before and after a given situation. For example, Shyam remembered he had been leaving his brother alone. We can also use a past perfect form for this by saying Shyam remembered he had left his brother alone. Always remember the verb for simple past and past participle is same. For example, leave, the simple form is left, and for past participle we also use left. So these words are the same. Now we'll look at some examples of past continuous. Here we go. Sita broke her hand when she was climbing a tree. Like this is, I am telling you that Sita broke her hand when she was climbing a tree. This is an event that has happened before and after. I'm describing about an event. I'm describing about an event which has happened in the past, before and after doing something, a given situation. Sita broke her hand. This is something that I'm talking about that has happened in the past. Now, before and after. Broke her hand after climbing a tree. That's when she was climbing a tree. Another example, Ram caught his student cheating when he was walking around. Walking around is the continuous tense. Ram caught his student cheating when he was walking around. So caught itself tells that this has happened in the past, and when, while he was walking. So we use we use past continuous tense here. So let us revise one more time. We're talking about the past tense, where work, the present tense is working, and the past continuous is was working. Had been working is the past participle form. We also have had worked, which is the perfect form. Now the use of past tense, the simple past tense, is when we talk about a particular time in the past. Like, we arrived home before 7. That's before 7 we were at home at those time. So I worked hard during class 9, worked hard throughout class 9. That's when I was in class 9, not now. Akankshya often recorded classes during winter. So it's recorded during winter. Winter time, we're taking the listener back to the time when it was winter, where Akankshya recorded classes. So we use recorded as simple tense there. Most evenings, we stayed at school and studied books because it was the most of the evenings when I was at school, not now. So we also use used to indicate or state something, like most evenings we used to stay at school and study. The past participle form is while talking about something that happened in the past, before and after a given situation. So Shyam remembered he had been leaving his brother alone. He remembered. Usलाई याद आयो. This is a simple past tense. What? के याद आयो भन्दा he had been leaving his brother alone. Now, some more example for continuous tense was climbing. Sita broke her hand when she was climbing a tree. Ram caught his student cheating when he was walking around. When did he catch his student cheating? While he was walking around. हिँडिरहेको बेलामा चाहिँ थाहा पाएको थियो, त्यही भएर we have been using the past continuous tense. Continuous why? Because he was walking. There was a movement. हैन हिँडिरहेको बेलामा चाहिँ थाहा पाएको थियो चिट गरिरहेछ भनेर त्यो कहिले भएको थियो पास्टमा भएको थियो 2 वर्ष अगाडि भएको थियो त्यही भएर was लागेको छ because it's a past event and he caught his student Ram caught his student when while he was walking around. I'll give you one last example, one more example from the book. This is from the book where we have a story. A student has been narrating about his first day at school. So he writes, on the very day I felt excited and happy. At the same time, I was very nervous because I didn't know anyone. So here he is talking about the very day that happened in the past, a particular day, and a simple past tense is used. I felt excited. Felt is the simple past tense for feel. I felt excited and happy. At the same time, I was very nervous because I didn't know anyone. So this is while he was talking about something particular time, something about a particular time. So he's used the simple past tense. Now another form, he writes, at first I was confused. I had to ask a boy where grade 9 students were taking their class. In this statement, the boy is talking about the past in the past. So he's talking about the past where he's saying that he was very confused, and he also mentioned something at that moment which had already happened in the past. So there are two past. Let me write it down. Talking about past in the past. भइसकेको बेलाको कुरा गरिरहेछ, बितेको कुराकोमा पनि बितेको कुरा गरिरहेको छ. जस्तै at first he was confused. I had to ask a boy where grade 9 students were taking their class. So क्लास 9 को स्टुडेन्टहरुले चाहिँ कता क्लास लिइरहेको छ भनेर पनि उसलाई कसैलाई सोध्नु परेको थियो त्यो क्षणमा भने त्यसको बेलाको पनि पास्टको बारेमा उसले कुरा गर्यो यहाँ. त्यही भएर हाम्रो यहाँ कन्टिन्युअस टेन्स लागेको छ, वर टेकिङ. अघिको एक्जाम्पल हेरौँ. So here Shyam is talking about something that had happened in the past. So he remembered. पास्टमा चाहिँ श्यामले के सोच्यो भने उसले के सोच्यो, he had been leaving his brother alone. उसले आफ्नो भाइलाई एक्लै छोडिरहेको उसलाई याद आयो पास्टमा. Similarly, at the first day of a school, the boy remembers that he had to ask a boy where grade 9 students were taking their class. So this is talking about past in the past. This is all for today's lecture. If you have any comments or suggestions and questions, please feel free to write to us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thanks for watching.